Hola, welcome. This is Dino Delano. Today we're going to get into, in a very deep way, the awakening of life energy within you. In other words, that sometimes is called the Kundalini process, Kundalini awakening. We could call it chi, we could call it life energy, whatever. Because oftentimes the term Kundalini is attached to some religious process. This has nothing to do with religion. This is a process of evolution. In other words, a process of humans becoming more human. We, in that sense, are human becomings. The awakening. Love is letting go of fear. The more fear that we let go of, the more peaceful that we become. The more illusionary fear that we let go of, the more love enters our life, because love is a natural process of life energy. Fear, by the way, is also natural. If you were in the jungle and you ran into a tiger, or if you were in Nevada somewhere in the desert and you ran into a rattlesnake, fear would be a natural response. But all too often, because we are so conditioned by religion, by society, by governments, by parents, so on, to not express our feelings, not express our emotions, we hold on to the emotion. We hold on to the anger. We hold on to the rage. We hold on to the fear. And in that sense, literally, we become afraid of fear itself. Most fear is conditioned and used to control people. Governments use it. Religions use it. They call it sin and so many other things, which leads to guilt. The fear of nudity leads to shame, and that shame leads to a rejection of the mind-body system. Literally, in that sense, if we think that there's something wrong of sex and we've been born out of sex, how does that make us? Emotions become frozen. The mind-body system becomes cold. We try to stay at a distance. We hear this. We say the person is a cold fish. And indeed they are. Or maybe you went through a relationship and it ended badly. And now you feel distant. You're now afraid to love. In other words, that fear has literally frozen your feelings. There is a way to dissipate that, and at the end of this video, I'm going to give you some actual methods and techniques that you can begin to release and move through the fears. By the way, what Kundalini does is amplify these blocks within us. It amplifies them so that we can become aware of them. Awareness is the major key to being able to release, but more about that a little bit later. We become then like Mexican jumping beans. We jump through hoops because we're trying to control the anxiety. We become hypochondriacs, fear of race, fear of homosexuals, fear of disease, fear of this. When I was in my 20s, I was literally a hypochondriac. I must have had 2 shelves full of vitamins. I was always looking for the next vitamin that would maybe stop me from getting cancer, or stop me from getting sugar diabetes, or stop me from getting Parkinson's disease. Every disease I read about, I began to have fears that I was going to get it. Know what I'm talking about? You bet. Many of you do. What we unconsciously fear is the life process itself. In other words, we literally become afraid of life. When we become afraid of life, guess who we are afraid of? We are, in that sense, afraid of ourselves. And this is to you people who are stark positive thinkers. The positive thinker becomes so positive that he's afraid of what? Negative thinking. He's afraid that if he thinks about losing money, he's going to lose his money. If he thinks about getting cancer, he's going to get cancer. If he thinks about, and so on. The person does not realize that the mind-body system has natural protection. And in that sense, they have developed their own fear by becoming so, quote, positive. Love and sex are not separate. When did we separate love and sex? We separated it in the church. We separated it by putting the women over here and the men over there. Very simply, love and sex are not separate things. They are not two different things. They are one in the same. Sex is a response to the feelings of love. We can call it erotic. We can call it desire. We can call it horny, if we like. But nevertheless, the sexual expression is a form of love. The seed in the ground that reaps an apple or a pear or grapes within the orchard is an expression of love. In that sense, it is an expression of the creative process. Letting go of the fear addiction. Well, certainly the pharmaceutical companies don't want you to let go of the fear addiction. They sell multi-billions of drugs per year through fear. 44% of the American public is on some form of pharmaceutical. How do we let go of it? It is called Zen mindfulness. What is Zen mindfulness? It's a very simple technique of bringing light to illusion. By being aware of what you fear without judging it, without controlling it. In other words, you just let it be there. If you're feeling fear, you feel it. If you're imagining yourself getting Parkinson's disease, you imagine yourself getting Parkinson's disease. If you imagine yourself going broke, you imagine yourself going broke. If you imagine your lover cheating on you, you imagine your lover cheating on you. And you do it without controlling it. You do it without saying, I shouldn't be feeling this. You just let it be there. Guess what happens? Very soon, it moves into something else. Pretty soon, you discover you're thinking something entirely different. It comes up again, maybe an hour from now, maybe next day, maybe next month. Pretty soon, it doesn't come up anymore at all because you have literally brought light into darkness. You have brought awareness into the illusion. That is what Kundalini is about. The blocks that we often feel, yogis oftentimes call them kriyas. The body shakes and jerks because the energy is trying to move through. Things like yoga, tai chi, oftentimes also help the individual to begin to release and let go. Awakening is letting go of conditioned fear. When we let go of our conditioned fears, which as I say is about 96, 97, 98% of fear, we begin to feel more love. We feel more connected. We feel more a part of life. And we literally begin to enter more into a state of joy and peace of mind. Discover the Magic in You is literally brought about by working with over 14,000 people over a great many years, starting basically about 38 years ago. And these techniques I bring to you in the book, Discover the Magic in You. Go to coolzenhealing.com, pull up the video there, and listen to it. And it will give you an enormous amount of understanding how you can begin to move through this process of life and become a more energetic, loving human being. Thanks for being with me. Dino Delano.